Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today, I am going to be bringing to you a best of 3 from the North American Playhem Dailies. Spawning in this bottom left position as the yellow Zerg, we have viOLet. His opponent spawning in the top right position of Shattered Temple, we have IMZerg. So, first, before I do anything at all, I want to briefly apologize because, well, I haven't uploaded anything in like 2 days, and I wanted to explain why and let you know why I haven't uploaded a thing in a while. Basically, I played a lot of StarCraft 2 over the weekend. I played a lot of StarCraft 2, and let me tell you, I did pretty bad. I would say that I had like a 90% loss rate. Seriously, on Saturday, I won 3 games, and 2 of them, like, people just left at the beginning of the match before I could even start mining minerals. I literally had 1 win that day, and I was just feeling, I just felt terrible. So I went back, and I started watching Day 9 dailies. I went back and watched Day 9 daily number, I think it was 360? It was either 360 or 260. If you Google Day 9 daily and mental checklist exercises, it'll come up. And basically, it's just this little set of exercises that you can do every day. It takes like 15 minutes maybe. I mean, you can spend as much time as you want doing it, and I've just been doing that over and over and over again. So on Monday and Tuesday, instead of casting, basically I was just playing StarCraft all day because I was just so disappointed with my abysmal performance over the weekend that I really just wanted to focus on playing StarCraft. Ooh, a little bit of miscontrol there from viOLet as he sends all of his drones into that extractor. So as punishment for not casting those couple of days, I'm going to be casting some games of my own right after I finish this best of 3. This is actually going to be a relatively short best of 3 as it is ZvZ, so it's a little bit on the shorter side. But after I finish with that, I am going to cast one of my own games. I've managed to finally get my macro back on hand. It's always been kind of one of my, I don't know, I guess it's a pet peeve of mine that it bothers me if StarCraft casters aren't StarCraft players. I always felt that that was just a little bit weird if you were considering yourself to be a StarCraft caster and you're like an expert in the game and you talk about the game, but you actually have no idea how to play the game. Like, that always seemed kind of weird to me. So it's a goal of mine to get to Masters. I'm currently high-ranked Diamond, but I'm not playing Masters yet, so my MMR isn't quite there, but I'm trying to get it there. I'm steadily playing Diamond players, and today, I will tell you, I went 100% wins. I played, I think, 3 or 4 games only, but I won them all, and that was way better than what I did over the weekend. So, I'm going to be casting one of those games that I played today, and I'm actually going to be releasing a short video where I'm basically going to be going over the exact same thing that Day 9 does in that daily, just a very, very short version. For those of you that don't want to watch the hour-long Day 9 version, I thought it would be nice for some of you other people that maybe just want to watch a quick little 10 or 15-minute video on how to practice your macro. So, look for that later this week. I'm going to be releasing that on my YouTube channel. Now, let's jump right into this game because I've been talking way too long about myself. As we can see, both players went for a fast gas followed by pool, and looks like viOLet is going to continue mining gas because he is throwing up that Baneling nest, getting a lot of lings as well, but Zerg is managing to throw down an expansion hatchery right now as he sends a couple of lings across the map, but viOLet is starting to get a little bit high. I'm actually going to keep this units tab open here for just a little bit so that we can see exactly where these players are at. As we can see, Zerg is up in drone count right now, currently sitting at 16 drones to the 14 of viOLet, and as we can see, viOLet is producing nothing but lings right now. He is pumping nothing but lings, only going to be sitting on this many drones for a little while, as he's going to be going for a big attack here, now morphing in some Banelings. No Baneling nests on the way yet for Zerg. Looks like he's going to try to defend this with nothing but lings. Expansion does complete, and so he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here as viOLet is going to be putting on a lot of pressure. Lots and lots of lings are being produced right here, and he is choosing to engage. Looks like a lot of lings are going to go down here for Zerg. He's really just trying to stall this push for as long as he can, but the Banelings are getting here. Nice positioning by Zerg, putting his 2 queens on that ramp, holding position there on that ramp to prevent those Banelings from getting up into the main. No drones down here at all, but I don't know if Zerg's going to be able to hold this. He does have 8 Zerglings on the way, but as we can see, viOLet's still continuing to pump lots and lots more Zerglings. There are more and more on the way. If we check out the Harvester count right now, 15 Harvesters to 14, so viOLet really not that far down right now, and he got a lot of Zergling kills on Zerg earlier, so looks like Zerg is trying to go for a bit of a counterattack here, but there are so many lings back here in the main of viOLet that he was able to defend it quite easily, and ZvZ actually loses his natural expansion hatchery, and now viOLet just pulling back right now to deal with the rest of these lings out here. He knows his opponent has just has just taken a huge loss, because that was 300 resources and a drone that he invested into that hatchery that is now gone. Tons of lings now out on the field though for ZvZ. If we go back to that unit tab, we can see that viOLet is currently up. Oh man, he's up by a lot of lings, but that's changing very rapidly as there are a whole lot of fights going on very quickly. Most importantly, ZvZ is still up in the harvester count, but viOLet just got up into the main. There's a spine crawler here that's doing a lot of damage to these banelings that really aren't doing a whole lot, but he's continuing to pour on the damage. More and more lings are on the way right now for viOLet. Baneling nest coming up for ZvZ, but I think it might be just a little bit too late here, as he's going to be able to pick off these ZerGlings, but man, he has lost so much already. If we check out the units lost tab, we can see that he is already getting a ways behind, and now viOLet, did he make any harvesters? No, he still didn't make any harvesters at all throughout that entire little exchange there, and now he's going to be throwing down a roach warren here, so that's very interesting of a transition, considering that he really doesn't have that many harvesters right now, but he's continuing to push out with all these ZerGlings starting to move across the map here. And what is ZvZ going to be doing? Notice no roach warren yet being taken here, so by viOLet initiating with all this early aggression, he's basically setting the pace of the game. He's saying, you know what, very early on, I'm going to be the first one to attack. And oh, we just have a bunch of banelings just going across, doing a little bit of swap in there, and oh, that was an okay exchange there for ZvZ. That was actually a very good exchange there. Got a lot of ZerGlings, but the banelings for viOLet are getting up into the main of ZvZ, and ZvZ having a little bit of indecision here on what exactly he wants to do, whether he wants to pull back, but here go the banelings into the main, and will they get drones? They are going for him, but nice worker split here by ZvZ as he manages to split all of his workers up all over the place, forcing viOLet to just have to pick which small patch of drones he would rather kill, and going for it. If we check out the harvesters right now, we can see that viOLet did manage to get up 3 harvesters in the meantime, and so now he is up 1 harvester there, and that's exactly what's important in ZvZ, and this is why a lot of people hate ZvZ, is because ZvZ has this thing where, as opposed to other matchups, where at lower levels you can kind of just go, tons of drones. ZZZ, tons of ZerGlings, and you can just kind of get one or the other, but in ZvZ you kind of have to be a little bit more careful about getting ZerGlings, but I'm going to get 2 drones. I'm going to sneak 2 drones in there, just 2 drones, and then I'm going to get a ton of ZerGlings, and then we're going to push back. Oh, but now I'm going to see that his drone count is higher, so I'm going to get a full set of drones, but now he's starting to push back. I need to get ZerGlings, but I think I can hold that off. Oh, big loss there for viOLet as he lost a lot of ZerGlings. But you always have to try to find smaller windows of adding in drones. It's all about small, tiny little gains. And as we can see, now that the roaches are now out, he's trying to squeeze out roaches, but he's also trying to still squeeze in drones whenever he can. 17 harvesters to 17, dead even right now in terms of harvesters, and ZvZ is now getting out roaches of his own. Notice the roach warren is up. If we check out the units lost tab, it's fairly even. viOLet has lost slightly less than ZvZ has, but they need to be very careful about taking expansions in this matchup. This is a very volatile matchup where one tiny little mistake can cost you the entire game. And as we can see, viOLet is producing a ton of roaches right now, whereas ZvZ is trying to get his drone count back up right now. As we can see, there are more drones continuing to pop out right now. He is figuring that, you know what, if an attack comes, I can hold the ramp with these ZerGlings. Notice the brilliant Overlord placement by both players. ZvZ has these Overlords in a line there, watching that direct path directly to their base. It's very similar for viOLet. He does have a few more Overlords out over his opponent, but he does have a good amount of vision there on the map, and now he is moving out with a ton of roaches right now. Notice he's now down in the harvester count, and these have now been spotted by viOLet, or by ZerG rather. So ZerG knows that all these roaches are coming, but is he going to be able to get up enough defenses in time? Notice only 1 spine crawler up right now, and it is 15 roaches to 7. That is a huge difference in roaches. 2 banelings coming up, 3 banelings coming up right now, because ZerG is going to need all the damage he can do. Banelings really don't do that much damage against roaches, but he needs every bit of damage that he can get right now, as he is so behind in roach count, as he just got a little bit too greedy. The baneling's trying to move in right now, trying to find a good angle at which to hit the most number of roaches, and he's doing nothing but pumping lots and lots of roaches, and viOLet has got to be feeling very confident about this little push right here, and oh, it needs to be careful with those banelings, because those banelings can do a decent amount of damage, even though these units are armored, and they don't really do that much damage to armored. Oh, there we go, the drone's now being pulled for ZerG, as all the ZerG drones trying to get a good surround there, and oh no, not on a very good attack command there, as they do manage to get one surround there on a couple of Zerglings, but notice this reinforcement of Lings from viOLet. Once you break the front with these roaches, reinforcing with Zerglings because they can get to the base really, really quickly, get into that fight very quickly, and as we can see, it is serving him really, really well as all the workers go down, and Zerg GG's out of Game 1, giving viOLet the lead, meaning we are going to be jumping into Game 2 of viOLet versus Zerg. So stick with me, guys. Game 2 of viOLet versus Zerg from the North American Playhem Daily.